9th annual Rodeo Bible Camp.
And we've got thunderstorms in some of our western counties out there, more continuing to roll through. We'll take a look at, there's some lightning from those storms more than 100 miles away. We'll have a look at your forecast, get you out the door, coming up.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Noe.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we've got thunderstorms out in our western counties already. Nothing severe at this point, but we do have that possibility of some strong to severe thunderstorms out there as we head through the morning into the afternoon. So we're going to start with a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, and actually a newly expanded severe thunderstorm watch just off to our west. So you can see it cuts off right at Elk and Chautauqua County out there. I just want to see, since it is fairly new, how long it goes to. And let's see, they are very vague about their severe thunderstorm watches because they like to use universal time code. Here we go. Okay, well, unfortunately, it's in UTC time, and I do not have my converter handy, but we'll keep an eye on those storms. Let's start with what we have here up into Greenwood County and starting head right toward Yates Center. So when we were coming on the air, you saw just a quick flash of lightning from our camera on the Cornell cam. That's from these storms that are more than 100 miles away from our camera site. There's a lot of electrical activity with these storms. Nothing strong, nothing severe, but it is something we want to keep an eye on as they continue to push off to the east. And then for Elk and Chautauqua County, got some thunderstorms here now just to the south and east of Wichita. This is what this watch is for. Take a look at this complex, this Boeing line of storms. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings along this line, and it's sinking off to the east-southeast. So that's why that watch does go a little further south and east instead of a little further east. But again, we got to watch this activity. You can see how quickly this is flared up, and we've got to see exactly what course this activity takes as we roll through the morning. Heading into the afternoon, though, we are still expecting showers and thunderstorms, and this is the current future track take on that line, pushing a little more into northeastern Oklahoma, but still strong, potentially severe thunderstorms out there as we head into the afternoon before we start to get a break a little later this evening. We do have an elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms today and a low risk for some strong to low-grade severe storms as we head into our Tuesday as well. Temperatures this morning, we are sitting very mild out there, upper 60s and right around 70 degrees. Warm spot there. Take a look at Stockton sitting at 72. So scattered showers and thunderstorms, breezy. South-southwest winds gusting to 25. Highs upper 70s, right around 80 degrees out there. We'll get a pause in some shower activity late this evening before we see more thunderstorms overnight tonight into our Tuesday. We'll look at all the details on that in the full forecast here in a few more minutes. Elise?
Thanks, Chris. The Jasper County Sheriff's Office has issued a missing person for a Carthage woman. Around 9 p.m. last night, authorities were alerted to that Megan Meredith, who was last seen near Carthage Kellogg Lake Park on the Spring River, was possibly missing. Multiple agencies responded, including the water rescue boat from Carthage Fire at about 11:20. A missing person alert was released from the Jasper County Sheriff's Office. The search for Meredith has been paused for now, but is expected to resume this morning. Meredith was last seen near Spring River Park, north of Carthage, on foot, wearing black glasses with pink trim, a black dress with a red, white, and blue pattern, blue shoes, and pink nails. A head-on collision has sent multiple people to the hospital with serious injuries. Around 1 p.m. yesterday, authorities were alerted to the crash near Kodiak Road on State Route V. Reddings Mill Fire, Newton County deputy, and ambulance responded to the crash. Betty Putnam of Cassville, Missouri, attempted to put another car when she struck Alana Holt of Neosho, Missouri, head-on. Both Putnam and Holt suffered serious injuries. Brian Woods, who was a passenger with Putnam and also from Cassville, suffered moderate injuries. Jasper County first responders were alerted Saturday afternoon to a single vehicle rollover crash. The incident occurred near Pregmore Avenue and East 20th Street. Only one vehicle was involved. A single pickup truck failed to navigate a curve and overturned into a ditch. Speed was determined to be a factor into the crash. The Dunwich Fire Department stated that it was a non-injury crash and traffic was disrupted for about an hour. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, Cross Trails Ministries is putting on its 9th annual Rodeo Bible Camp. The week-long camp will teach kids how to take care of horses and other animals, and to teach them rodeo events like barrel racing and goat tying. Kids will also attend worship there 3 times a day.
It's cool to see these kids connect with these animals or with this event. There's lots of kids that have come and maybe they've never tried goat tying, they've never tried to ride a bull or a horse or, rope. And I mean, we've had kids that have never swung a rope, and they've come, and by the end of the week, they're catching calves. They're roping, and so it's cool to see that progression and how well they do in their event.
A rodeo to show off what the kids have learned will be open to the public on Thursday. The downtown streets of Fort Scott were filled this weekend with hundreds of community members ready to celebrate the town and its history. KOAM's Samantha Walker spoke with attendees at the Good Old Days Festival about what is bringing them together as a community.
Everyone's friendly. It's a good community.
Community is precisely what the attendees of the Fort Scott Good Old Days Festival say the weekend-long event is all about. And not even cloudy skies could stop the hundreds of people from gathering and exploring downtown Fort Scott.
And it's just a tradition and great weather so that no one gets sunburned, mostly.
The Good Old Days in Fort Scott has been a yearly tradition that has gone on for decades, where a parade and various activities fill the downtown streets.
I was in the first one for Jock Snitch. I think it's closed down now, but Jock Snitch Sports actually was a model, man. Believe it or not, for the shorts and some stuff. My cousin of mine too, 1981.
And even people who have attended nearly every year for the past 4 decades make an effort to come back to help support the tradition.
I think tradition is important. I think Fort Scott stands by tradition, and that's one thing I feel like as a community member we can say collectively, that our community is all about tradition and keeping things preserved for our future generations.
The Good Old Days has something for everyone, from a street fair and 5K to funnel cakes and a car show. The event is all about embracing Fort Scott and its rich history.
It's kind of an older town. I mean, it's just I think the brick streets and a lot of things that people really like when they come to see Fort Scott.
That's pretty cool. I like history, so that was pretty cool. And they fired the cannon this morning, so that was pretty cool to see.
And for attendees at the Good Old Days that I spoke with, they say the best part of the event is getting to come together and celebrate as a community.
I think the shutdown during COVID taught us all a lot, that we like to be with people, and this is a good thing.
Just to see all the people that we know, and even if just acquaintance that we don't see very often, just checking in and saying, hey, what's up, and just basically just having a community. That's what this is about.
Reporting in Fort Scott, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
This year's Good Old Days was the 43rd year for the event. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. The Joplin Outlaws are on the verge of their first sweep of the season. We have the details. Plus, the parachute jump over Normandy kicks off D-Day commemorations. And thunderstorms return. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back.
The Joplin Outlaws are off to a 5-3 start to the season. Joplin looks to cap off their 4-game series with a sweep. Joplin comes in tonight as winners of 3 straight games, taking on Sherman for the final time until late July. In the first inning, the game is tied. Andres Garcia hits this off the end of the bat, and it falls in shallow right field. Cole Hill scores, and that's an RBI single for Garcia. Outlaws lead 2-1. Later in the inning, it's a wild pitch with the bases loaded. Persinger scores, and the Outlaws score 5 runs in the first inning to lead 5-1. We go to the second inning. Carter Mize goes with the Oppo Taco. That baseball sails over the fence for a 2-run homer to give the Outlaws a 7-1 lead. Offense scores plenty of runs for their guy on the mound. Cole Cooper goes 6 innings and strikes out 8 hitters as he only allows 3 runs on the night. And Joplin completes the sweep. Outlaws go on to win the game 10-3. Well, the Arkansas Razorbacks find themselves hosting a regional in Fayetteville once again. Arkansas lost to K-State on Saturday, so they look to avoid elimination on Sunday. It was not the best postseason performance this year. The Southeastern Missouri State Redhawks upsets number 5 Arkansas 6-3. The final there, and with that loss, the Razorback season comes to an end. It'll definitely be a long offseason for Dave Van Horn's squad. So with the Razorbacks loss, that means Southeast Missouri State faces Kansas State in the Fayetteville Regional Final. Wildcats beat the Redhawks 7-2, and for the first time since 2013, Kansas State is on to the Super Regionals. In the Norman Regional, the Oklahoma Sooners try to keep their season alive against Duke. OU wins the elimination game 4-3. Sooners then go on to face the Hudkeys last night. The Oklahoma Sooners go on to win this one with a final score of 6-4. And in the Stillwater Regional, Oklahoma State meets Florida once again. The Cowboys start late in the night due to a weather delay. The Cowboys go on to win this one, the final score of 5-2. Kansas City Royals and St. Louis Cardinals have had a rough weekend. Royals are losers of 3 straight, and the Cardinals lose back-to-back games to the Phillies, and each team looks to snap their losing streak on Sunday. Royals versus Padres on a lazy Sunday afternoon. We're going to pick things up in the 5th inning. Tied game 1-1 as Fernando Tatis Jr. gives the Padres a 2-1 lead with a single. So we go to the 8th inning, same score. Manny Machado hits a line drive in the right field. Tatis scores, and the Padres lead 3-1. But this year's Royals team doesn't have much quit in them. Bottom of the 9th, Nelson Velasquez hammers this one to center field, and it hits the base of the wall. Both runners on base score, and Velasquez goes to third with a game-tying 2-run triple. That gets the crowd back in the game and the fans out of their seats. Next batter to the plate is Nick Lofton. He pops one deep into right field. That gives Velasquez plenty of time to score the game-winning run. Royals complete the comeback in the 9th inning. Kansas City winning series finale 4-3. In Philadelphia last night, it was Sunday Night Baseball as the St. Louis Cardinals finished their series in the city of brotherly love. That game went into extra innings. Nolan Gorman had the go-ahead RBI single to give St. Louis the lead. Cardinals win that one 5-4. Still to come, we're going to see how a popular diet may be the gateway for women to live many more years. Plus, thunderstorms rolling into the area. We'll have another look at your forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. 5:18 now on this Monday morning. We've got thunderstorms working into Greenwood, Wilson, Woodson counties out to the west. Quite a bit of lightning with this activity. Measured around 75 lightning strikes in this complex. We have new development now taking place back into Elk County out there. So Yates Center, it is knocking on your door. You're hearing the thunders. Same in Burlington. Now rolling through Eureka. Then we've got this storm down by Omnia that's southeast of Wichita. And we have new development taking place now just to the north of Fredonia and right around Howard into Elk County. This area here has begun to develop just within the last 5 or 10 minutes. So again, at this point, none of this is severe, but we do have this severe thunderstorm watch, which goes until noon, and it backs up right against the far western edges of our immediate viewing area. So take a look at this complex that's beginning to develop across the western part of our viewing area. We're seeing more development take place on this. So we've got to watch this batch very closely. Then we've got to keep an eye on this guy out here. Now, now there's a new tornado warning in the heart of this thing. Now, again, this is still well west of us. But this is a long squall line, more than 200 kilometers long, and it has been producing winds 70, 80 miles an hour. Now, it is continuing to push off roughly to the east-southeast, but we've got to watch it because the southern edge is a little more favorable for new development. The northern edge may weaken a bit as it gets closer, but We've also got to keep an eye on this activity out here and what's taking place down by Tulsa. We do have a risk for strong to severe thunderstorms today. We have a low tornado threat, mainly right along and south of I-44. We have a low hail risk out there as well across the southwestern part of our area. And then the bigger concern, and hence what we just discussed with that line of storms out west, is damaging wind gusts. We do have an elevated risk across the southern 2/3 of our viewing area and a low risk for everybody else. So a lot to keep an eye on. So let's look down the road. Future track paused at noon. Again, expecting the northern portion of that line out west to weaken, but we're still going to be dealing with thunderstorms out there, and some of them could still be strong, potentially severe. So by 3, we've got thunderstorms, but again, the expectation is hopefully that line will weaken a bit before it gets here, but we've still got to keep an eye on it. We'll have a few lingering showers this evening, then we'll get a pause in activity by late evening, and then overnight we'll see additional scattered shower and thunderstorm development as we head toward about this time tomorrow morning. Now tomorrow, the thunderstorms are going to be considerably more scattered across the area. As you can see by noon, just a few isolated showers and storms out there, but the ones we see could be strong to low-grade severe, and then we'll see thunderstorms increasing again overnight with a line expected to come in out of the northwest, and that'll bring another risk for strong to low-grade severe storms. So there's that elevated risk today, a low risk tomorrow, and then we could have some ongoing storms by early Wednesday morning. So hence that line is going to roll through late Tuesday. Could leave us a few lingering storms in the morning. Quick look outside from our camera, 7th and Range Line. Again, since about 3:30, 3:45 this morning, been watching the lightning with those storms now getting ready to enter Yates Center, about 100 miles from our camera site. And that's how long the lightning has been visible here. 69 in Joplin, southeast breeze at 3. Around the area, temperatures not looking too bad. We've got upper 60s, right around the low 70s out there. So we get our morning underway. Again, breezy southwest winds outside of any thunderstorms, gusting upwards of about 25 miles an hour. While those scattered thunderstorms, 75 by 11 o'clock this morning. That's ahead of highs today to the upper 70s, maybe some low 80s. Mid 80s tomorrow and Wednesday. Not bad. Thursday and Friday, we'll get a break in shower and thunderstorm activity before we see additional shower and thunderstorm chances through the weekend and the start of next week. Again, we'll keep an eye on those storms out to the west. If anything does develop or any warnings are issued, we will certainly come on and let you know. We'll be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning. A popular diet may be the gateway for women to live many more years. A new study concludes that women who stuck to the Mediterranean diet lived much longer than those who didn't. The research, which followed more than 25,000 women over 25 years, was published Friday in the journal JAMA Network Open. An author with the study says adherence to the diet could benefit in about a quarter reduction in risk of death over 25 years, including from cancer and cardiovascular causes. The Mediterranean diet leans on simple plant-based cooking. Meals are focused on fruits and vegetables, whole grains, beans and seeds, and a few nuts. There's also a heavy emphasis on extra virgin olive oil. Other fats such as butter are rarely eaten, with sugars and refined foods best avoided. A Utah family refused to let cancer interfere with their dreams of expanding their family. The mother was diagnosed with 2 kinds of cancer, but she decided to put treatment on hold and recently gave birth to triplets. Shelby Lofton has their story.
We become family with the nurses and the doctors.
For 40 days, Lone Peak Hospital has been home for the Benitez Cowo triplets.
Kaylani Calais, Kahea Linda.
They were born a couple of months early on April 18th.
The babies weren't crying. They did need help breathing. Our delivery was a lot different than what we expected.
Since then, the 3 have found their voice. They're healthy enough to graduate from the NICU. The family was treated to a standing ovation from hospital staff. The parents are relieved to finally have their babies home. Kahea says, in a way, her health journey is the reason they're all here.
Cancer kind of gave us the opportunity to to do it.
She was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2021. She immediately jumped into treatment with a double mastectomy, several months of chemo, then radiation.
We knew that we wanted to have kids. Our 9-year-old too, he really wants siblings.
She and her husband Hector tried IVF between rounds of treatment. On the last day of radiation,
I got diagnosed with thyroid cancer.
after a total thyroidectomy, doctors found another tumor.
Technically, I still have a cancerous tumor behind my collarbone that they can't get to.
She was determined to have a baby, so she opted to put off cancer treatment.
And enjoying our time together. And whatever happens, happens. I mean, we have no say on when our time comes.
3 IVF rounds later,
3 babies. I actually don't even remember being able to hear their heartbeats because we were so in shock.
1 baby boy and identical twin girls.
The chance of embryo spreading is like 2%.
They're getting to know their babies' personalities.
Miss Kaylani is wild child.
Kahea says this isn't what she imagined years ago when she and her husband first tried IVF. Even though there's more diapers and bottles involved, their dream came true.
Yeah, I would have just told myself, be patient and have faith.
Kahea says she'll have another ultrasound soon. Then she and her doctors will figure out a course of treatment for her cancer. And that's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
And we're monitoring thunderstorms continuing to develop off to the west. We do have some stronger storms now entering into Coffee County and Anderson County out there with some gusty winds. We'll keep an eye on these storms and have the latest on your forecast when we come back.
Right now at 5:30, racers from all over hit the pavement at the Mocan Dragway.
And we're continuing to track showers and thunderstorms rolling into the area. Still seeing lightning off to the northwest from Joplin, but as the sun rises, won't be as visible. We're going to take a look at these storms coming up.
Plus, Crawford State Park hosted a fishing derby as part of Kansas's free fishing weekend.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:31. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. So we do have some thunderstorms already developing, pushing into the area, and we're seeing more development now taking place across parts of southeastern Kansas. No severe weather at this time, but it is a possibility for us today, possibly even into tomorrow. So let's start with a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. I'm going to tell you, show you what we're talking about out here. So we have a severe thunderstorm watch just to our west that runs until noon. But take a look at those thunderstorms across southeastern Kansas. There are a few more of them now stretching back into Elk County and now into Chautauqua County, where about 20 minutes ago they were just showers. Quite a bit of lightning with this activity. In fact, we can do a quick check on that lightning for you, just see how many lightning strikes we're seeing. So that's the thing, is even though these storms may not be severe, they are still quite electric. That's 70 lightning strikes just in that batch alone as it continues to slide off to the east. So this batch up here, we do have what's known as a significant weather advisory, and that does include Coffee and Woodson counties and getting into Greenwood County, and this is because these storms are producing some gusty winds upwards of 55 miles an hour and are being monitored. They may intensify. So Yates Center, you're getting in on it now. Burlington, it's right there. And we've got those thunderstorms now developing back around Howard. Take a look at that just to the west of Fredonia. And then we've got to watch this line of thunderstorms. A number of severe thunderstorm warnings with this. Winds have been gusting 70, 80 miles an hour. Now, it's expected to weaken in the northern portion, intensify south, and it may stay just to our south and west, but we've still got to keep a close eye on it as we're going to expect thunderstorms to continue through most of the day and into the afternoon, and we'll finally get a break by the early evening hours out there tonight. So we do have that elevated risk for strong to severe thunderstorms for some of us today, and a low risk as we head into our Tuesday as well for some strong to low grade severe thunderstorms. Quick look at temperatures, upper 60s and low 70s as we go, as we get the morning started. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, highs right around 80 degrees, and then outside of any thunderstorms, southwesterly winds gusting upwards of 20, 25 miles an hour. We're going to continue to monitor the storms out west, and of course, if anything pops up, we will certainly let you know. Elise?
All right, we'll check in with you soon. Well, fast cars hit the blacktop yesterday. Mocan Dragway hosted Sunday Fun Drags yesterday. The event allows for people who want to compete in drag racing tournaments to tune their cars or test out some new ones. Racers from all over the country attended today's event.
You're going to find that drag racers, even when they run each other, that they're pretty much like family. Anywhere in the country, and especially here at Mocan, this has always been a family-oriented track.
The event was originally scheduled for Friday, but was rescheduled due to weather. Epic Drives hosted Cars and Coffee Saturday in Joplin. The car show had everything from newer supercars to the classics. The show also had food trucks for attendees to enjoy, and we spoke with a few people to see why this event means so much.
Cars are a passion. A lot of these cars are something you're not going to typically see every day. So to be able to come and see inside the car, experience the car, and meet people that are like-minded, it's just a really good time.
Just seeing all the different cars, the different sounds, and checking out what everyone's got done to theirs, it's kind of inspiring sometimes.
A total of around 100 cars were at the show. Crawford State Park hosted a fishing derby Saturday, and the event is part of Kansas's free fishing weekend. Every kid who attended the event got a reward, which could include items such as fishing poles, a tackle box, or sports equipment.
Just kind of a good way to get kids outdoors, familiar with it. Really low stress environment. We have 5 or 6 helpers here today to help. And we're not getting on anybody. We're just here to make sure the kids know how to use the equipment, and we get fish on the bank. So.
A demonstration on how to handle fish and what types of fish are in the area was held before the event got started. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. One person is dead after an apartment building collapsed in Istanbul. Plus, Israel and Hamas fight over ceasefire talks as the war nears its 8th month. We'll have the latest. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. Topping World Watch, a parachute jump over Normandy kicks off D-Day commemorations, marking 80 years since Allied troops helped free Europe of Nazi rule. Dozens of members of the fastest appearing generation who served in World War II visiting France to commemorate their memories. American Airlines sponsoring a flight to send them there, the youngest vet 96 years old and the oldest 107. Part of the event's purpose is to pass on the memories of World War II to current generations, especially as new wars break out across the globe. President Biden, Ukrainian President Zelensky, and British royals will be in attendance for the official anniversary on Thursday. One person is dead and 8 others are injured after an apartment building collapsed in Istanbul Sunday. The accident renewing fears about building structural integrity in the city prone to earthquakes. A surveillance video shows people startled by the sudden collapse of the 5-story building. The reason is still unknown, but there were no indications of seismic activity or an explosion. Over 59,000 people were killed last year in Istanbul during a 7.8 magnitude earthquake, which alarmed officials to the poor enforcement of building regulations. Officials say there are about 200,000 buildings desperately in need of improvement. Well, as the war between Israel and Hamas nears its 8th month, a new hurdle in ceasefire talks. Christina Coleman has the latest on where talks stand and how thousands in Manhattan used Sunday to call for action.
Thousands filling Manhattan Street Sunday to mark the annual Israel Day on 5th parade. Marchers calling for an immediate deal to free the Israeli hostages held by Hamas in Gaza.
After 8 months, it's a long time that the hostages still there.
We need them out yesterday.
More than 70 family members of the hostages joining marchers as the war between Israel and Hamas nears its 8th month.
Bring them home! Bring them home!
In a show of solidarity, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer joining the parade.
We will not relent. We will not back down. We must bring them home.
This, as Israel's defense chief indicates the war won't end until Hamas is destroyed, saying Israel won't accept Hamas's rule of Gaza and is examining alternatives. A further indication Israel is seemingly brushing aside President Biden's ceasefire proposal.
I think we remain the critical nation in the Middle East. I think everybody looks to us to be the honest broker.
The move coming just days after Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was extended an invite to address a joint meeting of Congress by the top 4 leaders of the House and Senate.
Well, it's my hope that the Prime Minister, upon his arrival in the United States Congress, will address the Biden peace plan.
Prime Minister Netanyahu is anxious to come and address us, and I hope that we can get that scheduled here in the coming weeks.
Netanyahu this weekend accepting the congressional invite, saying in a post on X he is looking forward to the opportunity to, quote, present the truth to Congress.
And that's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Greg. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:44 on this Monday morning, and we're taking a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker, just looking at the latest on these storms. We are starting to see some slightly larger hail with this particular storm. Still not severe at this point, but around Yates Center, you may be experiencing some reasonable hail out there, but again, not quite to severe points yet. But take a look at how this line continues to fill in now from Burlington, Yates Center, north of Fredonia, just now passing through Howard and all the way back down now into Chautauqua County. We still have that severe thunderstorm watch just to our west until noon. We've got that cluster of thunderstorms around the Winfield area. All of this activity moving east, and take a look at how this is filled in rather quickly across parts of the western edges of southeastern Kansas out there. I mean, you watch how fast that develops. Then we've got this activity that we're keeping a very close eye on. Take a look at this bow echo surging off to the now starting to turn a little more southeasterly. A number of severe thunderstorm warnings along this line as it continues to push off to the south and east. And that's why at this point that watch doesn't include anybody in our immediate area, as it's expected to stay a little more southeasterly. Now, we may get clipped by the northern portion of this, but there's also the expectation, at least, hopefully, that this will weaken a bit, because otherwise on the leading edge of this line of storms, we're talking winds 70, 80 miles an hour out there. We do have a severe risk today, so that's why we've got to monitor each of these complexes very closely. We have a low-end tornado threat, mainly along and south of Interstate 44. Then we have a hail risk that shifts to the southwestern half of our viewing area. The biggest concern, again, we just mentioned with that line of storms, is damaging wind gusts. A low risk for most of us, and we have this elevated risk for everybody else out there for winds 70, potentially 80 miles an hour. Let's look at the future track. So future track, again, at this point, still thinking the northern portion of that line will begin to weaken. And we'll be dealing with the stronger portion in our southern counties. Now, how much of that weakens and how much of an impact these storms this morning will play is going to be a key factor in this. But strong, potentially severe thunderstorms still possible through the noon hour. Here we are at 3 scattered storms out there. Again, a weakening expectation, but nonetheless, still something we've got to watch. Then we're expected to start to transition to some showers by the late evening hours. And then overnight, we'll see a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms out there as we head toward 5 a.m. on Tuesday, and we'll deal with slightly more scattered thunderstorms as we go through Tuesday. So what I mean by that is, as you can see, not nearly as many as what we're expecting today, but some of these still could be strong, low-grade severe. The greater threat is going to come by overnight. When we get to about 11 o'clock, a line of storms expected from the northwest surging southeast that could continue into early Wednesday morning. And that's why, as we head into Tuesday, at least, we do have a low-end risk for some strong to low-grade severe thunderstorms for our Tuesday. Quick look at temperatures. The clouds starting to increase from the west in Joplin. 69, southeast breeze at 3. Around the area, we are upper 60s and low 70s. Stockton still the warm spot at 72. We get our morning underway. Scattered showers and thunderstorms, and that's the other issue today is wind. Outside of any thunderstorms, southwest winds gusting upwards of about 20, 25 miles an hour. Be about 75 by 11 o'clock this morning. Heading into the afternoon, we're looking at highs right about 80 degrees, mid-80s Tuesday and Wednesday. A break in the activity Thursday and Friday, but still quite warm. Ahead of more showers and thunderstorms heading into this weekend and the start of next week. Of course, again, no severe weather in our area at this time. We'll continue to monitor these storms as we continue through the morning hours. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
A Texas high school senior is writing the playbook for his future. He's college bound on a full academic and athletic scholarship. But what makes his story unique is the adversity he overcame to get there. Nicole Nielsen has his story of homelessness to hope.
Growing up, Zaylen Washington will tell you the odds were never in his favor. Early life was filled with a series of upheavals between parents in and out of jail and a brief stint in foster care.
So at the time, I didn't know like it was broken. You know, I kind of just thought like, I really felt like I was the issue because I kept going from different places and stuff.
For years at school, no one knew what he was going through.
People would make fun of me because my clothes were like ripped or like too big.
It wasn't until 7th grade, and when he joined the football team, he began to find a family he'd never known.
I felt a lot of pressure leave on my shoulders and stuff. Like I finally found a home and someone who wants me.
When he got to Nimitz High School in Irving, his living situation worsened. So much so, he found himself homeless his sophomore year. It wasn't until his youth group pastor offered him somewhere to live that he saw things start to turn around.
It was the first time someone choosing me, like not having it forced on them.
In a more stable home, he's taken the last several years to focus solely on academics and sports, both of which earned him a full-ride scholarship to Feather River College in California.
I want to be more successful than anyone in my whole family. Like I want to be the first person to complete high school, go to college, and actually have like hopefully, a 6-figure paying job. I have to prove them wrong, really, is what it is.
When committing on signing day, he says it was the moment that everything made sense. He looks back on the lessons he's learned and the progress he's made, with pride knowing he's now in control of his future, one he knows will be bright.
A South Carolina man without a roof over his head has made a friend who is also without a home. James Malcolm has bonded with a stray cat named Bugs, but Bugs got into a little bit of trouble and needs to see the vet. Malcolm is leaning on the help of the public to make it all come together. Lisa Weissman reports.
James Malcolm walks to most places, or sometimes he might take the bus.
Well, let's see if he's done run off to hide yet.
But of all the places he goes,
it's kitty, 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 cat, Bugs. Where'd you go, Bugs?
He always makes a stop to see Bugs.
Up. Oh! I try not to go more than maybe about a day or two without coming here, so I'm out here several times a week.
The pair have been getting to know each other for years now.
I've known Bugs since he was a kitten. He is to me like a child to me. He's like a member of my family. He's like my own kid.
He makes a point to visit.
If I walk, about 45 minutes. Bus, about 10 to 15.
And if he has money from day labor, food and a quart of milk from the nearby Food Lion.
He loves milk. That's his favorite thing. He loves fresh whole milk. He'll drink a whole bowl of it all by himself, left to his own devices.
But now, Bugs needs help beyond what James can do.
I know he's in pain, but the question is how much?
Bugs has a wound on his belly, a cut from one of the other cats that's not healing.
The longer it goes, the greater the odds are that that wound is going to get infected and I'm going to have a major problem on my hands.
James is now trying to raise money for a visit to the vet so Bugs can get patched up and keep coming around when James goes calling.
That's that loving feeling. It's nice to know that somebody, even if it's only a cat, somebody out here cares about you. So that kind of warms my tiny little hearts. Bugs.
Bugs had his first vet appointment over the weekend. Stick around, we'll be right back.
From the moment it's more than a service, it's our ministry.
Facebook, the next generation, could describe the new approach to the social media platform that wants to win over new users. Facebook says it's going to undergo significant changes to gear up for new incoming younger waves of social media users, as well as using new product capabilities using artificial intelligence. Facebook's Reels and feeds will utilize new tech that learns from large data sets for recommendations. Video improvements like a full-screen video player will help in exploring and sharing videos. And new professional mode will help creators earn money. Facebook says it wants the world's best recommendation technology by 2026.
At some point, they're going to have to come up with a Facebook for us older folks, because every time they change it, I spend about 2 weeks trying to figure out how just to use the thing, and then they'll change it again. There was a time I used to be up with tech, and I'm not as up with it as I used to be. We're going to have scattered thunderstorms as we head through the morning hours, and some of these could be strong, potentially severe. All hazards are possible, but the greater concern is going to be with damaging wind gusts. We have two complexes. We have one thunderstorm complex that's developing and ongoing now across southeastern Kansas, and another one out to our west that is severe that we're going to have to keep a close eye on as we go through the morning and into the afternoon. We'll also be windy. Outside of any of these thunderstorms, we're talking southwesterly winds gusting upwards of 25. We're going to make it to about 75 by 11 o'clock this morning. Scattered thunderstorms continuing through the afternoon. And again, some of those could be strong, possibly severe. Highs upper 70s to right around 80 degrees, so about average for us. As we end into the evening, we'll actually see a pause in shower and thunderstorm activity. Still be cloudy out there, but it'll dry out at least momentarily before more scattered showers and thunderstorms begin to work their way in as we head through the late evening and overnight hours, and we'll fall back into the upper 60s. So another fairly mild evening out there for us. As we look down the road, we're going to go mid-80s Tuesday, Wednesday. Some strong, potentially low-grade severe thunderstorms possible Tuesday, with better chances for organized thunderstorm activity late Tuesday night into very early Wednesday morning. And then the rest of our Wednesday, not looking too bad. We're going to be decent Thursday and Friday as well, and we've got more thunderstorm chances as we head into the weekend and the start of next week. Temperatures cooling back a bit, but closer to average. Our average high right about 80 degrees, so we're going to be pushing near 90 on Thursday. So Thursday, Friday, great opportunity to head to a pool and cool off out there before more storm chances roll in again this weekend into the beginning of next week. Let's check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.
Stream KOAM News now.